In January 2020, all of our lives changed forever.
I'm speaking to you at what I know is an increasingly challenging time. A time of disruption in the life of our country. A disruption that has brought grief to some, financial difficulties to many, and enormous changes to the daily lives of us all.
The first case of COVID-19 was declared in England.
A virus spreading, planes grounded, trade stalling, and even sporting events cancelled.
Coronavirus has reached the UK. 2 patients from the same family in England tested positive on Friday. They are the first such cases in Britain.
The government took unprecedented steps to warn the public.
The number of COVID patients is definitely going up. It's heartbreaking.
When you have to tell somebody that you think this is the start of their lungs failing and that they're not going to get better, that is really, really heartbreaking.
Over the following months, the UK government mobilised a wide-ranging response. Huge restrictions on the public, a vaccine and a drive to secure PPE for hospital staff. I'm Mark Williams-Thomas, a former British detective turned journalist with over 30 years' experience investigating some of the biggest cases in the UK and worldwide, like my world-exclusive interview with Paralympian Oscar Pistorius.
They try and say that I broke down a door with a cricket bat. I can't even hold a cricket bat up if I don't have my arms to balance.
Now in my latest investigation, I have turned my attention on the government's response to the COVID pandemic and in particular the role of MPs and peers, and in a difficult investigation gained exclusive access to Baroness Mone.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do this.
We can.
No, thank you.
Baroness Mone has become the poster girl for the PPE scandal as a result of her referring her husband Doug Barrowman's consortium, PPE Medpro, to the government. She is now under a criminal investigation. At the height of the PPE pandemic, Baroness Mone introduced her husband's consortium, PPE Medpro, to the government. As a result, they won a very substantial contract. Now, Baroness Mone finds herself subject to a criminal investigation. For the last 2 years, she has remained silent. She's been vilified in the press, there's been attacks on her, and as a result, her and her family have suffered. She says it's wrong. What's being said is inaccurate. It's untrue. She says she wants to correct it. She's agreed to talk to me. It won't be easy, and I won't make it easy for her. But let's hear what she has to say. Michelle, you had a poor and humble upbringing in the East End of Glasgow. Left school, age 15, no qualifications. But since then, you've enjoyed huge success, a status of true rags to riches tale. Founded Ultimo and have an impressive entrepreneurial track record. You've become a recognised household name. 2015, appointed by the then Prime Minister to the business and a Baroness in the House of Lords. But you're in a very different place today, currently under investigation, criminal investigation, with bank accounts frozen and headlines painting that you are a thief. You've profited from PPE pandemic. You've stepped away from all social media and you've not fought back. You've not said anything. This is your first interview. This is the first time you've spoken for almost 2 years. Why now?
Well, because we just can't take any more. We're sick and tired reading all the lies every single day in the media.
How difficult has it been to read some of the headlines?
So difficult because, you know, I am outspoken and I think everyone feels that because we have been silent that we are guilty. So the whole thing has been so scary that you just don't know what to do. And Doug and I look at one another and we think, no, today we are going to come out and we are going to respond and we are going to respond to that message that they said, you know, put her in jail and orange jumpsuits and we're going to throw acid over her and everything else. So there are times where we go, right, that's it. We're going to say something and we go, right, stop. Let's just think about it. Then we speak to the legal team and then they convince us not to do it. And it just kind of goes round in circles.
How bad do you feel at the moment?
On a scale of 10 being the worst, 12. And yeah, I am a very, very strong woman. I'm seeing a doctor and on medication and everything else, which I'm very against. But yeah, I needed it.
Sleeping?
No, no.
On your mind all the time?
Yeah, I probably sleep 1 hour and then I wake up maybe 2 hours. Panic attack, you know, like NCA coming crashing through your house. I think anyone would have a nightmare. And I see them over my bed and it's horrific. But it's been a real fight.
And the fight, are you going to win?
Yeah, we will win, because we've done nothing wrong. And it's cruel and it's nasty, but we will win. The evidence that we have got and what all the government, the Cabinet Office, everyone knew of my involvement.
You are now a Baroness in the House of Lords. Many would see that as part of the establishment. You are now in the House, you are the establishment. Is that how you see yourself?
No, I never have been part of the establishment. Love our country and everything else, but I've never been part of the establishment, and I never will be, nor do I want to be.
Now just tell me what the pandemic meant for you. You were at home on the Isle of Man. What are you thinking?
That I can fix it. I knew I could fix it.
Fix it as in?
Supply chain, getting quality PPE on time at the best prices. I've been doing it for 25 years of my life. Not PPE, 25 years of my life, but in manufacturing. And, you know, the reason I was put into the House of Lords was because I'm an expert in brand building, manufacturing.
You are under investigation by the NCA for a number of separate allegations. Firstly, conspiracy to defraud by entering into an agreement to defraud the DHSC. Did you attempt to defraud the DHSC?
Absolutely not. How can I defraud them when they knew I was involved? There's over 1,400 emails and communication on WhatsApps and phone calls. How can they say they didn't know I was involved? They knew everything.
They also say, and this is part of their investigation, they're investigating you for fraud by false representation. And it relates to dishonestly making false representation intending to make a gain for yourself by securing DHSC contracts for PPE Medpro.
I put their names forward. The guys got the contracts on their own merits. And no, it's not true. Again, another lie. They knew of my involvement. Everyone knew of my involvement.
How do you think people see Baroness Mone?
Right now, I think they probably see me as a horrible person, a liar, a cheat, a thief. I think they've just made up their mind, and on social media we have this kind of kangaroo court that everyone decides, and they've all made up their mind.
Do you think you got favourable treatment by the government, by the DHSC, because you are a Baroness?
Absolutely not. And if it's that train of thought, then you should look at all the other MPs, Baronesses, Lords, senior civil servants that all put names forward that went into that VIP lane. They should all be the same as me right now. Why are they not?
How is it that the NCA are saying that you weren't upfront about your role?
It's 100% a lie. It's not true because of the sheer amount of communication, email, WhatsApp, phone calls. It's all there.
So when the NCA say that you were in a position where you benefited as a result of being a Baroness, what would you say to that?
Well, I was a conduit. I was a liaison person. I brought, it all together. I wanted the guys to succeed. I wanted the NHS to succeed. I wanted a win-win situation for everyone. Both myself and my husband declared their interests. And if they had any issue with that whatsoever, when they knew of my involvement and my husband's involvement, why did they ever give the contracts in the first place? They must have been satisfied and they knew everything.
Does Michelle Mone struggle to step away from something? Does she like control over things? Is that what caused you to keep kind of being involved? You started something, so you got to finish it?
Once I commit to something, that's it. You know, I've been criticised a lot in my career, like I'm like a Jack Russell that never lets go. And that is me. That is who I am.
Is there an obsessiveness with Michelle Mone?
Yeah, probably. I'm a perfectionist. I can't deal with people who overpromise and underdeliver.
Matt Hancock wrote the Pandemic Diaries. He says that you were aggressive and threatening, throwing around wild accusations to try to help PPE Medpro win COVID contracts. Is that true?
No, that's not true at all. And in fact, it was many months after the event, after the guys had delivered the masks and had delivered the gowns, and I spoke to him about a completely different subject. I can sometimes come across feisty. It's just part of me, but I'm certainly not aggressive. I wasn't abusive, and I think he's got that completely wrong. And to be honest with you, I'm not a fan of his anyway.
During the course of your communication with the DHSC, the government, did you at any stage lie, tell any untruths?
Never. Absolutely. No, I didn't lie whatsoever. Why would I lie?
I've seen an article that says Lady Mone supported and helped PPE Medpro secure a place in the VIP lane.
I did not know about that VIP lane until I read about it in the newspapers myself. The guys didn't know about a VIP lane. What a lot of nonsense and lies again.
Michelle, you're coming over quite angry, quite aggressive. Why?
Well, I don't mean to be angry. I'm not, an angry person. But I'm really struggling at the moment. I'm uncomfortable doing this interview. It's been 2 years of not speaking about it. This is my first interview and I'm not doing well at the moment. My mental health and don't want people to feel sorry for me. I'm in a lot of pain and struggling. So I don't mean to come across angry, and if I have, I apologise.
You lied to the press, didn't you? Because you said you had no involvement in PPE Medpro. That's not true, is it?
I made an error in what I said to the press. I regret not saying to the press straight away, yes, I am involved.
Yeah.
And the government knew I was involved. And the emergency team, cabinet team knew I was involved. The government, DHSC knew that I was involved, the NHS, all of them knew I was involved. The legal team advised myself and my husband not to comment and not to say that of my involvement in PPE Medpro. What I did say to them was, I'm not a shareholder, which was true. I'm not a director, which was true. I am not financially benefiting directly, which is true. But I didn't want to start speaking to the press about it. And I didn't want the pain for my family again through the media, because it has been painful dealing with the media and I just didn't want it.
Michelle, have you benefited in any way from PPE Medpro money, either directly or indirectly?
Look, my husband's an entrepreneur. There was many entrepreneurs involved in PPE, supplying PPE, and the consortium that he led supplied huge volumes at very competitive prices that saved the NHS tens of millions of pounds. What my husband decides to do after the event and who benefits from that is at his discretion. I am his wife and I may indirectly benefit, but that's just like all other families around that are married That's just it. That is not my money. I don't have that money. It's not my money.
What's the future for Baroness Michelle Mone?
The future is to get over all of this, to fight back, start fighting back now. And once it's all over, just, lead a very quiet, loving life and get, ourselves back to normal. And I don't ever think we will ever get back to normal. Everything, all the good that you've done your whole life is all trashed out the window. Maybe there is a reason why we've gone through it, so that we can maybe help others that have been in the same position as us, that don't have a voice, that are not heard.